Hello Cancer. Thank you for watching my video this month. This is the video for Cancer for January 2016. If this is your first time, welcome. If this is your second or third time back, welcome back. My name is Jane. My channel is International Tarot. And I do 2 readings in every video. I start with a love reading, and then I shuffle and do a more general reading. Sometimes the love energies can carry over into the generals. So if you're only interested in love, stay tuned at least for the shuffle and the draw of the cards to see, you might kind of get 2 love readings. Not always, I'm just once in a while that will happen. So I think I'm about ready to get started. Okay, here we go. Love energies for Cancer for January 2016. Here we go. Ace of Swords, 3 of Swords, the Empress, Page of Cups, 8 of Swords, the High Priestess, 8 of Cups, the Emperor, and the 7 of Wands. Can you see all those cards? Okay. I have a new little setup. I used to do these in my living room, and I had to quarantine everyone to their bedrooms while I was doing them. So I finally set these up in my room so I can just have a little corner here. So, okay. First of all, I want to address the Ace of Swords and the 3 of Swords. You have, 3 swords kind of all connected here, with the 8 of Swords directly in the center being maybe a slightly more prominent energy for you this month. But starting this month or this next period of time, the next 1 to 2 months, off with the Ace of Swords is actually a really beautiful, really positive way to start. It's truly the card of new ideas and a new mindset, new thoughts, a new way of really looking at the world. It's also a card of victory and triumph, and maybe you really are feeling, like you really have a new world in front of you. Aces are new beginnings. They represent, they're sort of ruled by the Magician in the Major Arcana. The Magician being, that strike of lightning, that truly, in each element, whether a sword, a cup, a pentacle, or a wand, the Magician really truly represents that burst of inspiration in whatever field or whatever corridor. And the fact that you have the 3 of Swords directly connected with the Empress, which is the number 3 as well, means it is also very strong energies for you this month, actually. So the 3 of Swords, in being connected with the Ace of Swords, I'm going to interpret this as truly the card of healing. Not so much a broken heart or sorrow and grief, which it can mean sometimes, and there might be elements of that, because without sorrow and grief you cannot have healing. Without black you cannot have white, type of thing. And this card in the background has rain, and rain comes in and washes away all of the dirt and all of the mess. And as the thunderstorm and as the storm clouds clear away, you are revealed with bright blue, clear skies. And that is the process of healing. And it might, last a while, and it might feel heavy on us. But ultimately, it truly is that idea of birth, that idea of a new life, and life being created where there was no life before. And I feel like this is you, Cancer, male or female, the Empress, you creating that life and having that new awakening, that new way truly of looking at things, and approaching the world, and being a very, very strong and well put together person, I guess, for lack of a better way of looking at it. You know, the Empress brings life where there was no life before. A very nurturing, you know, this is the card also of pregnancy, which is that idea of birth. So a very, very sturdy individual, which couples nicely with the Emperor, which I'll get down to in a moment. And, you know, I'm seeing in direct connection with this Three of Swords, the Eight of Swords. You know, perhaps you're having difficulty seeing things for what they are. Perhaps you're having difficulty with this healing process, even though I see that you are moving forward and you are healing. Whether, and again, that healing and that new way of thinking can be related to pretty much anything, whether it's a relationship or even something career-wise, family-related, or, you know, pretty much whatever. And those things, if it's not related to a relationship, can often carry over into a relationship. And I see this Emperor being directly affected by these swords, being directly affected by the things that we are going through, or not we, but you, Cancer, are going through. And sometimes that's difficult and causes a little bit of conflict with our partners, whether it's a partner that, you know, a long-term, long-standing relationship, or even if it's someone new. These swords are incredibly difficult for outside forces to penetrate, right? You know, these are walls, mental blocks that we set up, mental blocks that we have control over. And it truly is up to us to remove the blindfold and to unbind ourselves and begin removing the swords so that we can move forward and other people can come into our lives and into our hearts. But when these are up and when we are blinded to how to remove them, and when we aren't sure how to remove them, it can cause a little bit of stress in a relationship. Now, again, like I said, you might be going through this process of healing. It might be something you're going through now or have been going through recently, or as you're entering the month of January, that might sort of come into play. And while we're going through that process, that healing process, you know, I feel like this is a message for you to don't forget the people in your life, and while you're going through those things, to, as much as possible, maintain your connection with your higher self. Maintain your connection with the universe and God. With the High Priestess, you have 2, 3, and 4 in the Major Arcana. Interesting. But while you're going through this and experiencing this, maintaining that connection with something greater than ourselves really will allow us to put things in perspective and truly allow us to move on, see things for what they really are, and breathe life into our new phase. Now, with the Page of Cups here, that is the entry or a message of new romantic intentions, whether it is with your partner or someone new. Again, like I said, these swords are incredibly difficult for people outside forces to penetrate. And here you have the page, and while he is still making the offer, delivering that message, reaching out to you, still the back is turned slightly. Other people can sense when we have our walls up. They can sense when we're not being open, and when we're not willing willing or ready. Sometimes you need to be ready after going through something like this. So if you're not ready, while the offer is still there and will remain there, it is really up to you to remove these swords and let that person in. And I see you working through this successfully with this Eight of Cups. You perhaps this Three of Swords is some level of sacrifice. It's some level of moving into a new phase, some level of leaving things that are truly familiar to us, that we care about, that we cherish, and that we love, in order to make more things happen, to make better things happen. This energy is moving directly into the Emperor, which I see as being your partner, your potential partner, although Emperor and Empress usually are people that or the people that you're in each other's lives already. Very stable. It's kind of like a king and a queen of the same suit. The Emperor, the Empress, it's that perfect match, if you will, that really soulmate quality connection. And even maybe a renewal of that connection, or a new way of really looking at that connection and reevaluating and coming to a new sense of clarity about your path. This Ace of Swords is directly in line with that message of love and that Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups can sometimes even mean sacrifice, giving things up. That's more of a negative connotation. I prefer to look at it as, new opportunities, regardless of the fact that we might be leaving things that are comfortable. Sometimes it is that level of discomfort, that level of discomfort that truly welcomes in bigger and better things. And if you are single, this situation, this heartbreak, this healing process, regardless of the swords and the blocks that might be put up, it's possible this person may have caused the swords as well. It can even kind of go backwards a little bit too. And that it's just something that you two need to work out together, especially if you're in a committed relationship. And this is really you coming to new understandings, new agreements, new ways of moving forward together. A lot of possibilities here. And to sort of reinforce that idea of, not letting anybody in, the Seven of Wands is those external forces, and you fighting them off, you fending them off and protecting yourself and fighting for your own beliefs and your own path and your own choices. And, that being in direct line with this person, this Emperor, and being directly in line with this Empress, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing the words strangely just because I'm all in my head. Sometimes I'm not the most skillful articulator. It's challenging for me. But anyway, this is a very strong energy. It's often an Aries person, but could be other fire signs as well, or fire-like qualities. Aries are fire signs are strong individuals. They are strong, and they have no qualms with voicing their opinions. This Emperor especially may be a little bit more stern, a little bit more mature. Emotionally, maybe not as mature as he is in the ways of just success. Not the most nurturing, caring person, as much as or at least as much as you are at this point in time. Not saying always, but they might even have their blocks up as well, because you have yours. So when two people have those blockages and have those barricades up around their minds and around their hearts, that can cause conflicts, and that can cause each of you to be defensive and feel maybe like you're being attacked, even if that's not the other person's true intention. And then that then can cause conflict. So again, what I'm saying with this High Priestess, it is important for you, well, everybody, but you especially, to keep your mind open, keep your heart open to your higher self, which, is your intuition, following your gut, following your inner guide. And hopefully that will help you to release the questions, and to at least help you remove the blindfold to start, at least. So give me just 1 second. Oh, baby. Okay, so now I'm going to take an outcome card. But again, I'm sorry, I have to stop, because I just want you to remember, these things that cause, sorrow and grief, or cause us to go through the healing process, and cause us perhaps to retreat a little bit, it's a normal thing. And this Page of Cups is really standing out to me because of all the cards. Even this one is just such a sweet, innocent, and pure of heart offering. And it's so gentle that, I feel like that is really also what can help you to work through whatever healing that you're going through. And to remember that there is someone, or there are people in your life that that truly are there for you. Now, this can carry over into friends and family as well. Love readings often do. And there are so many stories that I get from these videos. It's like the absolute highlight of my day, even if I might not respond to all of them. It is absolutely thrilling to read the emails and the comments that I get, and how each person relates to the cards, because it is so different. So keep in mind, friends and family as well. Okay, sorry, I talk too much. Okay, here we go. And I don't even need it. It's the top one. Okay. And the King of Wands. So because this came directly after the Seven of Wands, I see sevens can be tricky energies. They are dualities, they're opposition, opposing forces. But the King of the Wands is the master of the wands. It is truly conquering anything, you know, in terms of this, with this card, you know, conflict related, and truly overcoming any issues and any frustrations that you might have. Wands are the signs, are the sign of transformation and change. You know, this king is a visionary. It's forward thinking and you know, not so much strategizing, not so much as the emperor, but seeing the big picture and realizing that sometimes the things that we're fighting for and the things that we're, you know, defending ourselves for might not really have a lot of weight in the big picture of, you know, the grand scheme of our entire lives. And that could even be in connection with the High Priestess as well, that visionary, that big picture mentality that will slowly help you to remove these swords, to remove the blindfold, remove, you know, the other binding, and begin the process of opening back up and allowing people back in. And interesting reading. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle and do the general reading. General for Cancer. Okay. So, oops. Okay, Cancer, January 2016, general reading. One more. The Three of Pentacles, the World, the Page of Wands, Six of Wands, Queen of Swords, Ten of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Judgment, and the Emperor again. This is a really beautiful reading. If you even just look at the colors of the cards, that's how versatile it is. So it is pulling in the energies of, you know, the Three of Swords, and you know, the Emperor obviously is a prominent energy as well, and again, another page. So I'm going to start with the Three of Pentacles, and the reason why I say the healing and even the Empress is because you have another three here. Threes again being that idea of birth and life, and you know, life where there was no life before. I like to think of the Three of Pentacles as truly an opportunistic card, using your past experiences, your past life, your past accomplishments and accolades, and the things that you've done well, and leveraging those into something more, leveraging that into new opportunities, and being directly connected with the world just reinforces that idea even more. And having, you know, the cyclical nature of the Pentacles and the cyclical nature of the world, and it being right next to the Three of Pentacles, meaning truly turning over that new leaf and truly entering in that new phase. So again, with, from carrying in from the past reading, the Three of Swords, that healing, when we're done with that, we really can look at the world from a brand new perspective. And again, that Ace of Swords, I typically don't like to tie in the readings, but sometimes that's just the way it is. It's just the way it happens. So the Page of Wands, similar to the King of Wands that I just sort of described, but more youthful in nature. Again, just starting out, really unexplored territory, super curious about everything and ready to accept whatever the world has to offer. And here you are, the Queen of Swords, being the very center of the reading, meaning you truly become, truly control your thoughts. With the Eight of Swords in the center of the reading last time, here you are in full command and full control of those thoughts. So the issues get worked out. You become a master. You become sort of a dominator of your own world, and come to that level of figuring out really how to control your world and how to make things happen for yourself, and leveraging those opportunities, leveraging those past experiences into new opportunities to truly enter into a new phase. It's a new year, it's a new beginning for all of us. And I'm seeing victory with the Six of Wands. Victory and, again, the world, and with the Nine of Pentacles, the cyclical nature of those as well. Victory perhaps even in your career, Pentacles being the career card, and your endeavors and just the things that you set out to do, your New Year's resolutions. I'm seeing you with the Judgment card. This is the card for me of personal enlightenment, and these people here are rising up out of the darkness of their coffins. Their black is the color of consumption. It consumes all energy, it consumes all of our thoughts. So for you to be rising up out of that energy, rising up and becoming more in control of your world, an incredibly positive outcome in your outcome row for you, and you truly receiving blessings from the universe and receiving the messages, understanding and interpreting and applying, which is, again, a Page of Wand attribute, and even an Emperor attribute as well. Applying those messages that you receive to make your life better, to make your life more how you want it to be, is a very, very positive thing. And with your Nine of Pentacles here, the Nine of Pentacles I see as it being a very independent card. You, not an independent card, but a card of independence, representing independence. And that really being connected with you coming home from a battle. You coming home from a battle, you're healing, whatever past situation that you might feel like you're coming out of, that you're coming out of and taking control of and conquering as the Queen of Swords, who is a force to be reckoned with, very strong, very smart, very intelligent. And then the Nine of Pentacles, which honestly for me, this is just me, I think. I don't think any other tarot readers do this. But I see the Nine of Pentacles as a Queen of Pentacles energy. But, you know, independent, in control of her, or I say her, but male or female, because it's a female in the picture, in control of the world, your world, in control of the things that you create, the things that you produce, and the outcome of your life. You know, a very practical, again, even with the swords, a very practical, intelligent energy, and someone who has figured out how to master their life and how to truly master their plan for their life, if you will. You will receive these messages from our higher selves, the universe, God, whomever, from the angels. Apply them and allow them to bring you up out of your darkness. Allow them to bring you home from battle. Allow them to leverage into new beginnings, new life, the birth of an entirely new phase for you. Now with this Ten of Wands, moving into these new phases sometimes can create, you know, because you become a better person, the better of a person you become, sometimes the greater responsibility, the greater the obligation to carry out the things you say you're going to do. It's not a problem. You can handle it like a champ. And with this newfound mindset, this newfound understanding of life and the world in general, this, I believe, might make you stronger in relationships, in your relationships with this Emperor, in a relationship with people in your life, maybe a father figure or a mentor or someone. And this Renaissance here as well could mean a renewal in your relationship, a renewal in understanding, and just really getting on the same page as one another. You already are a good match. I said that in the last reading, Emperor, Empress. And you already are a good match. And even here, your energy is very much, I mean, you're reaching out to this person. You are connected. You are willing to bear the responsibility that that relationship might bring. It's not a bad thing. It's just, you have to be willing to do it. And you emerge from this in an incredibly positive light. One more. Oh, the Five of Swords. Interesting. This card has always been a little bit of a tough card for me. For some reason, I I understand the traditional meaning of the card, but for me, I see it as something different. So I'm going to read it as how I see it. For me, the Five of Swords represents toxic patterns, toxic behaviors, and our abilities to become victorious over those and to succeed and conquer the things that we ultimately know are not right for us. So again, I see a victory for you. I'm going to, I guess, tell you, another meaning because it might speak to you on that level instead. Five of Swords can mean, and I heard another tarot reader, her name's Alexandra Tarot, who's wonderful as well, and she described it, or she said it as like the card of empty battles, and that speaks to me as well. So you might maybe need to see which definition makes the most sense for you. There might be, because you two are quite strong energies, and maybe not even related to a relationship or anything like that, but you personally might be fighting empty battles, might be trying to defend things that aren't worth defending, defending choices, defending opinions, defending actions that you're taking, whatever that might be, and however that speaks to you. But again, I do see it as toxic patterns and toxic behaviors, and becoming victorious over those. And as the Queen of Swords, it would make sense that that would be more of the meaning. Perhaps you have set patterns in your life that you continually do, set things that you continually do, even though perhaps you might know that's not in your own best interest. But now really is the time, with this healing that you might be going through and bringing in a new season. I mean, literally a new season, a new year. You really might have the ability to get those things out of your life once and for all, and to make this connection, romantic or otherwise, this connection incredibly, I guess, just stronger. And to make it more of a priority if that's something that you want, or to make it something more solid if that's what you're looking for. You both are, fire and air. I'm not an astrologer, but I believe that's a compatible, in general, very, obviously very general, a compatible match. Yeah, I think that's everything. I think I caught everything. So again, thank you for watching. I'm so thrilled with everything. And I'll put my contact information in the box down below if you have any questions, or feel free to comment. And I hope to see you next month. Thank you for watching.